Hi, everybody. This is the first time that we have done the recording in standing with Palestine. Just not going to be streaming. We're going to be releasing this directly on Friday. So, hi, everyone. It is not Misfit Monday. It is Misfit Friday. I'm Jonny. I'm the DM of the campaign. For a list of the cast names and socials, check the episode description and not the chat, because we're not live. We usually stream every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, make sure to follow us, do all the things. And if you're listening to the podcast, please give us a rating. Zach.
I really should have been more prepared to talk about Roll20.net, but I wasn't. I let it slip. But it's okay, because I just know Roll20.net so well. It's the best tool on the internet to play all your favorite TTRPGs with all your friends. You don't even need to prepare a bit for an ad. You can just talk about all its great features and all the ways that it makes this campaign possible to play online with all of us. It's amazing, and it supports this campaign.
Woo!
Thank you very much, Roll20.
Thanks, Roll20. And also, thank you to Syrinscape for making a dope-ass music app that we can use for our campaign. It's been dope. If you want to check it out and get a full list of cool music and ambiance for your game, check out Syrinscape. We have a link in our chat. Nope, not in the chat. We have a link in the episode description where you can get lots of cool stuff like Curse of Strahd and Wild Beyond the Witchlight and Storm King's Thunder and much, much more. Check it out. It's awesome. All right, let's recap. So, last time we came onto Ravenloft, we had a bit of a session, but you all left the Golthius tree feeling great about the reconsecration, and you decided to head back to the winery to rest and recuperate after that long dungeon delve that you had. And the day went well, but then the night came and the winery was surrounded by mist, and Strahd appeared on the back of Bocephalus. He stated that as punishment for reconsecrating the shrine, that one person was going to die. And so you all quickly talked about what was going on, what you guys were gonna do. And in the end, Arxes had stepped forward and decided that he was the one that was going to fight Strahd. At least, he wasn't going to go out without a fight. So Arxes mounted John and rushed towards Strahd in a very epic aerial battle. And on the ground, as the party attempted to interfere with the battle, that's when Rahadin and two other vampires appeared in the dense mist and began attacking the rest of the party. And finally, after toying with his enemy enough, Strahd had killed Arxes by taking his blood, and as he looked down at each of you, his glowing eyes, the only thing piercing through the mist, a clear warning to stop. But we continue as Rahadin disappeared in the mist, Vaughn chasing after. You could do a perception check to see if you see.
I would love to look for this little rat bastard. It's 14 enough to see him.
14
is a 14.
14's pretty good.
When he'd been averaging like 25, is a 14 good? Hey, does a 14 get him?
And
there he is.
Let's see. So he's got a fuck ton of movement speed. So we're just gonna effectively say that he's not there.
Okay.
But with that, you all begin to hear as rain begins to fall. Not very typical this time of year in Barovia, as it's usually snowy, but here we are. You also begin to hear the sobbing of Aurora as she rushes out of the winery looking for the body of Arxes and finding that it was taken. she just falls to the ground in this mud with the rain now falling onto her. And she's joined by Leyland, but they stay there for a moment. What is everybody else doing?
I think Sorsha and I are still standing where we were, just kind of doing the same thing. Just sort of in shock.
How far out is Vaughn? How far are they from us?
I was a good bit away. I think it was like 120 feet away with Bocephalus.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I've probably picked him up at this point, and I'm starting to like slowly walk back, defeated.
Yeah, I think I'm like keeping the sights trained in that direction, scanning for Vaughn, not liking that they're probably almost out of eye shot at this point.
Step out through the tree line, I assume, and shrug.
Lower the gun.
Yeah. Well, approach everyone else.
We should get inside. There's no point being out in the rain. Are any of the Martikovs around us?
Yeah, the Martikovs have come out to the porch. There's like a little porch with a roof, and a lot of them are just kind of outside staring.
Secure a perimeter, something.
You see a few of them. Yes. And then you see most of them start to go back into the winery. And you see Adrian is walking out, as well as Elvir, and then Dag as well, which was Stephania's husband. All three of them start walking around, just looking for any signs of anybody else. The rest of them walk inside.
I'll go over and like go over to Aurora and Leyland and just kind of like I go to pick them up and then I just kind of kneel down with them and like give them both a big hug. I'll stay there for a minute before I lead us all inside.
Leyland brings you in as well. You can see that she's conflicted. On one hand, her dad was kind of an asshole, but on the other hand, it was her dad.
Yeah.
The person that took care of her for a decade while her mother was gone. You can see that she is sad, though you can't tell if she's crying or if it's the rain that's creating those tears that form on her face. But you come down to them, and you, with the help of Leyland, are able to grab Aurora and bring her inside with you.
How many entryways are there to the Martikov estate? I guess
Quite a few.
Quite a few. That's annoying.
Quite a few. Yeah.
I'm not gonna go around ritual casting alarm on each of the doors. That's a lot.
At least on the first floor, there's, if I remember right, about 5.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I can also help with that.
If we want to. I mean, is it true that thing they say where a vampire can't come in unless they're invited? Is that a truth, or?
Is that true in the world of Dungeons and Dragons?
I was
Does
just
that
about to
apply to
ask,
Strahd?
have we run into that problem with the
I would
vampires that
say
we fought?
the only, well, I guess I'm conflicted on whether or not Katya can make this check. I know Beatrice can definitely make this check, so I will say Beatrice can do, I will say, like a history check.
Sure. That makes sense. A 23.
Yes, it is a thing. That is one of the things that they cannot do unless they need to be invited into a space before.
No shit, really.
They can't enter another person's residence without an invitation. The one caveat to that is that Barovia is all Strahd's.
Sure.
So you haven't seen Strahd being prevented from entering anything.
I thought you were going to say that caveat is if you fireball the house down, then you can enter it.
I mean, you
Well,
could
that
say that too. But like theoretically, a vampire spawn couldn't enter
Correct, unless invited.
because, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure, that makes sense.
So,
Well, I can certainly help with alarm. But that's only going to give us a couple moments warning. I think he's probably got what he came for.
right, and I doubt Rahadin will come scuttling back here for whatever reason. I wish he would.
We
I would
could
like to kill
hope,
him.
But no, I think they've had their fun for the day. I don't think they would bother us anymore. They left after all.
See Esmeralda just pick her crossbows, looking at the place where she'd seen them, and then shakes her head and then walks inside of the winery as well. Is there anything that you all would like to do before heading to bed? Any preparations outside of the alarm spells?
I'll go around casting them, but that's about it. Just trying to avoid other people for the most part.
Yeah.
Trying to avoid either Aurora or Leyland or the Martikovs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Then each
I think
of
I
you
would actually
go
just.
ahead.
I think I would actually just spend the night like sitting with them, with Aurora and Leyland and whatever Martikovs around. I think we just like post up in the dining room and just are miserable together for the night.
You actually, one of the things that is very inspiring about the Martikovs is that no matter how bad it gets, they are always a light. What you see though is they start talking about memories that they have with Arxes. The good things that he has done. Leyland starts talking about this one time where he had taught her how to use a short sword, and the time where she had worked with him to create her armor that she wore. And Aurora talks about how much of a wreck he was when she first met him, and the strides that he went through to become better. There's a lot of conversation of more of a celebration of life than it is a funeral or anything like that. It turns from very somber to a lighthearted remembrance. But in the end, after a few glasses of wine, everybody eventually retires. And you all finish a long rest, leveling up to level 12.
Hooray.
Woo!
Worth it.
Nice. But outside of that, you wake up and the mood of the day is rather somber. The feelings of that more uplifting remembrance has subsided. There has been enough time for everybody to kind of at least partially process what has happened and what that means. You see that the Martikovs are just going to work. They don't seem to be wanting to engage. They are just trying to keep themselves busy. And you see Aurora and Leyland are not present. Is there anything you would all like to do?
I'm going to attempt to make pancakes. And probably fail since I don't believe Vaughn's ever cooked before.
This is going to be amazing.
I think you should roll for that.
Absolutely.
I don't know what kind of role that would be. I'm not proficient in cooking tools. Acrobatics? I'll roll acrobatics.
I sure as hell haven't done a lot of cooking, so I'm not going to be of any help.
No, I guess. Would that be like an intelligence thing to know how to?
We can't hear you, Johnny, if you're talking.
Yeah. You're very
Hello?
quiet.
Oh, really?
Oh, there you are.
Better.
I think you're
That's
just a little
better.
far from your mic.
All right, there we go. I don't know if that would be a intelligence check to see if you know how to make Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead and do an
Okay.
intelligence check.
Just a flat
I wanna-
intelligence check?
Intelligence.
I want to help them. I feel
Alright.
like Sorsha would also get in on the pancakes.
Fantastic.
Okay,
Then
great.
with advantage.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
Hey, all right. But remember,
11?
10 is like average. So like
Yeah.
you make
Okay.
some decent pancakes. They're
Only a little of them are burnt.
they're not bad. Yeah, the first few are, but once you start getting into it and figuring out, oh, okay, this is how long I need to before I flip over. They're decent pancakes. You do a pretty good job.
Your pancakes aren't hard.
They're not. They're really not. Yeah.
Pretty easy, pretty good starter, actually.
So, pancakes are cooked by Vaughn, and they are had by all. You're all at the table if you would like to be. Whatever you guys want to do. I'm going to follow whatever you want.
I think there's a few minutes of like quiet before Beatrice hits a. How long until I can be very frank about this situation? You need me to be delicate for the sake of breakfast, or can I start being a little blunt?
If you have something, by all means, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Go off.
If we are going to have to diffuse 2 more of those, and he intends to show up every time we do,
Then
Only
we
if-
cannot come anywhere near here ever again.
well, also, how exactly? There's 4 of us left at this point, so we're talking about batting down to 50% of this group. And I think it's worth having a conversation about finding a way to flush out our numbers so that maybe we can protect those of us that we intend to carry through to the end of this.
You need some sacrificial lambs, essentially.
I understand your motives for that, but I don't like the idea of throwing someone in front of us to die for us.
Well, I'm not saying they shouldn't know about the risks, but I'm just saying if we're in a situation where it's you're essentially asking one of us to do that or yourself to do that instead. And if 2 of us are willing to volunteer and say it's them, then I guess great, but it's still not good perspective for the rest of us actually being able to carry anything through with this. Because after we defuse those things, we still have to fight Strahd himself. If we defuse those things. And my understanding is that is a requirement.
Right. It's a difficult situation. I've been thinking about it too. There's no easy solution. Obviously, I would volunteer. I'll take him on next. But I worry about what happens if I share the same fate. Unless... do we have a map?
Yeah.
On the table? Cool. Where... So we have to... The next one we intend to defuse is in Perez, correct?
It's the closest one.
And the other is in...
The windmill.
The windmill. God help me, that fucking windmill. Oh.
What's wrong with this?
Thank you.
Later.
My thought is this. He's going to pose us a problem after we defuse each one, right? And we have to travel to each one eventually to defuse them before we can fight him. So why don't we defuse them both as fast as we can before Strahd can get to us?
I mean, he can get to us instantaneously, right? Like, I assume he chose to wait until we got here just for dramatic effect, so that he could. I sort of like gesture in the direction of wherever Leyland and the Aurora were, so that the most people were hurt by the show.
Yes, he wanted to hurt us as badly as he could, and if we can count on him. What I'm saying is, I don't want to drag him here or use this place as bait. That's not what I'm trying to say. But if we, for instance, make use, and I like gesture over to Sorsha and say, make use of the resources the travel that we can do, I think we could go to Perez, but not enter the shrine, set up a plan, or set up an area to be teleported to, go to the windmill from there, defuse it, instantly teleport from there back to Brez before Strahd has a chance to attack us, defuse there, and then when we exit, if he meets us there, so be it. If not, we wait till the wedding.
Valid, but that first shrine was so draining on us, kind of overall. It wasn't just a one-day endeavor.
You're right.
And if
It wouldn't be easy.
Sorsha has to go through defeating a vestige of Strahd each time, then that will get incredibly draining quickly, and I don't know if she will have enough power to then teleport us via tree.
You're right. It would be very difficult. And it would put a lot of strain on us, and I don't know if we could handle it, but it's just an option to avoid some danger, I thought. Maybe after we, defuse it, we could take the risk of sleeping in the cave. We either did it once.
Sorsha, were you going to say something?
So far, Strahd has beat us down. He has essentially killed one of us almost every time that we've met with him. My biggest fear is he's going to escalate. He's going to know that we're not afraid of dying. But he might go after the people that we love. So, to go back to that point in conversation, I think Aurora and Leyland and the Martikovs need to go somewhere not here for protection until this is all over. I think we need to talk to them about that.
Is there anywhere we could send them that would be safe enough?
I thought about, why can't I remember? Moonrise? What is...
Moonshade.
Moonshade.
I thought about sending them back to Moonshade. But he has attacked there already. So we could talk to the Martikovs to see if there's anywhere that they could go.
What about the Amber Temple?
I don't know anything about the Amber Temple, I'll be honest with you.
Interesting.
If their intentions are pure upon entering, then none inside should harm them.
Was
And
Sorsha
Strahd-
not there?
Doesn't go there.
That's not a bad point. As long as they don't delve too deep or make contact with any dark forces.
That would be the danger.
Right.
And the Martikovs have a very specific skill that runs in their family. And I think
Winemaking?
Horticulture?
Very important.
I'm sure our lich friend would love to get wine drunk, but I actually want to see that.
So I
Just
think
gets
that
really in his feelings.
Right. Really in his feelings at 1 second and then just completely forgets about what you're talking about the next.
Yeah.
So I think that is the first step, is figuring out what to do with our families, with Arxes' family. And then...
Doesn't Aurora have family here still?
Does she?
Esmeralda says, I think...
You fix your mic, my guy.
You're
Is it
so
really?
quiet.
She does. She does have family. She has like that cult of werewolves that like Leyland
Yeah,
was
they're
also a
running
part
around
of.
in the wolves though, in the woods though. I don't think they're around
Yeah, but-
here.
But like they would be stronger than
Yeah.
they would be protection if they went to them.
I have no
Rat.
idea why it was so low. It's so weird.
Your sensitivity was
It
just
was
low.
yeah, it was in Zoom. My sensitivity was really low. Jesus. All right. Anyways, here we are. Yep. Esmeralda says that. I remember that they were saying that they have family in the werewolf den, so they could stay with them, maybe.
I mean, theoretically, are Leyland and Aurora in any danger? The only people who would be...
Not anymore. I hate
Theoretically.
to say it, but
My only worry is that if Strahd wants to punish us and cannot find us, then he would resort to attacking one of them.
I think there's one other person he would target first before he targets either of them. Hate to say. I'd look at Sorsha.
That is my biggest worry. This is the first time that I've had any kind of family, and I don't want to lose them.
And what about your mother? She's still at Moonshade?
No, she's here.
She's here? Okay.
Yeah. She's been here since the wedding.
Right.
yes.
Right, that's right. Well, we know Moonshade is not protected, and I just find it, I don't know, something... If Strahd was to show up and attack the Ember Temple trying to... I guess then it would become an issue of would the residents of the temple defend it from him?
Well, the Lich is an old friend of Strahd's, from my understanding.
but
The Fox friend, I don't know.
but the Lich had said to destroy him.
It's true. The Lich also could have forgotten everything that we talked about.
Very true.
Could forget that he's his friend then, and could just treat him as a stranger.
I guess it's more theoretically, how would they, if they had guests, if the Amber Temple had innocent
There were those-
refugees essentially staying within their walls.
There were those other people there that we never investigated literally at all.
That's
That
right.
you detected. So there were definitely people there, just
But-
kind of vibing.
Those people had been, I remember reading their minds, they had been attacked by the fox creature when they
Oh, right.
entered. Because when they heard us being attacked, they were like, oh no, it's happening again. So clearly, like, the fox did not deem them worthy. They were probably treasure delvers or something, I would imagine. But the Martikovs, of course, would not have any ill intentions to go in there. And then I guess it would be a question of if they had guests or refugees within their walls, would they feel beholden to protect them? Do the
That is the question.
Sorsha, do the Martikovs have anything? I guess that because the Amber Temple values like information, history, arcane knowledge. Is there anything they would know that would essentially create them as like a safe, like a protected class of sorts? Like, would they be seen as historically valuable or like arcanely valuable to these people?
I'm gonna assume that Elvir is with us.
Sure. Yeah, Elvir's
Having
there
this conversation-
and just kind
yeah.
of listening and just overwhelmed with everything that's going back and
Yeah,
forth.
The
sure.
fact that I was like, this man's gonna die.
Yeah.
Doing the
This
big,
man's
like-
probably the next one to die.
Yeah.
My poor waifu. So I'll just look at him and I think it is time to share, Elvir. I will not do this for you, but
Yeah. All right. All right.
He's wearing
Um,
the talisman of non-detection, right? Did you give
right,
that to him,
yeah.
Sorsha? Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay.
My family and I, we are all were-ravens. We are able to travel across Barovia rather rapidly and undetected, even to Strahd. He doesn't quite know that we have this gift just yet. We are also the leaders of the Keepers of the Feather, and we attempt to help people that aim to bring about good in Barovia, which is why we thought that each of you would need some help. I don't know if we would have any importance for whoever might be up there. I will say that my father will probably not leave, regardless of what happens. And if that happens, my brother might not, and I can try talking to them, but my dad is a bit of a stubborn asshole sometimes. That aside, I will talk to them. I will talk to them.
So, how much do you know about, I don't know, the goings of the palace as essentially a flocking spy network?
I don't know a lot. My brother, Adrian, he's more of the scout. He's technically the leader. My father was, but he's given that up now. He just is a stubborn asshole, like I said. But I can grab Adrian, bring him in, and you can ask him as many questions as you would like.
Maybe hold on that, just because we don't want too much being said.
I understand. As far as it goes for the palace, I don't think that Adrian has gone there often, so I don't think that he would have too much information, but he did recently go to Valakai, and he has some information which I think he told Katya earlier about Lady Wachter having her own leaders all throughout the town. But now that the Raven is out of the bag, we can gather more information for you with ease if you need anything. Is there something that you want from Castle Ravenloft?
No, I guess not particularly.
Okay.
Well, that was the first point that I wanted to put my input on. But as for the next two places that we need to go, and the whole thing of getting out of there after the next consecration, I guess. It will be exhausting, but I can hold on to my spell to get us to the next spot. We will have to rest afterwards, but it is doable. I think the quicker the better.
What are these things anyways?
They're shrines to the Fanes that have been... what this word?
Fucked up?
That's okay. Yeah, there you go. That Strahd has just fucked up. And we went into the Galtheus tree and we were able to remove the fuck up and release the spirit of the Fane there. And then we have to do the two others. And we need to do that in order to defeat Strahd.
Desecrated.
Thank you!
Yes. The opposite of the word consecrated, yes.
To be completely honest, I don't even know what desecrated means, so fucked up works better for me.
It's okay. You're just...
It means fucked up.
Gotcha.
Got it.
Yeah.
I kind of gathered now that we...
Yeah, that's it.
Beatrice, if theoretically, if we have people that we could send around the palace, is there some way that we could potentially distract Strahd while we are doing what we're doing? I mean, he's clearly got a wedding coming up. Is there any way we can distract whatever's going on up there to draw his attention to that while we do what we have to do?
If I could interject,
No, go ahead.
I don't know if getting the attention of not only Strahd, but anybody that is there at the castle is in our skill set.
Just, I don't know, like grab like a bauble and misplace it or something.
I see. Okay. I thought that you were saying get his attention and become a distraction.
No. I'm not saying peck his eyes out. I'm
Got
saying,
it. Okay.
misplace something of his, fiancés or some nonsense.
Yeah, okay.
Would
I'm
you
not
be
being that much of a fool.
Would you be able to get... I mean, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna mentally connect
Sure.
to Elvir for a second because I don't want to say this out loud. Would you be able to perhaps transport something into the palace and leave it somewhere?
It depends
Without
on what it
being-
is.
A bomb?
How big is this bomb?
They're just making intense eye contact with each other and we're just all sitting there.
Right, like leaning in.
Not too big, just something that could create a bit of a shadow of something rather valuable.
I would need to know where it is going. And
You'll love it. It's right at the top of a tower, exposed to the elements. Doors aren't even locked.
I think it's possible.
Oh boy, this is exciting.
It really depends on how much that weighs, because if we can't... Listen, we are going to be having to travel with this bomb, not only up the castle, but from here to there. So
There was a big
Unless-
hole you could put it in.
Unless, Sorsha,
Unless-
if you created one of those,
Am I in on this telepathic conversation
He just
now?
starts talking out
Yeah.
loud.
oh sure, yeah.
What is
Well,
that?
technically, he can talk out loud. It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
I
he-
don't want to say my shit out loud.
Honestly, I think
sure.
he just naturally talks out loud anyways, because that's just he's not used to,
I'll just
telepathic
clue
stuff.
everyone else in.
Yeah.
I'm making a bomb. It's fine.
Oh, fun.
If
Without me?
Okay.
if we had a bomb
You can help.
and
Thank you.
Sorsha, you could make like one of those things with the 3. Do you have to go through, or can you just make
No.
that
I
near
could
the
just make
castle?
that. Yes, I could. Absolutely, I could do that.
We could do it.
I have all my spell slots.
I think we could do it. If you give us enough time to prepare, or at least tell us, hey, it's happening, and, I think we could do it.
See, this is
What-
rather.
When would you want to do this?
I thought maybe we coordinate it with when we just, resanctify at least one of the shrines.
Mhm.
Because doing damage to that might distract him enough not to come after us.
So then I
Hmm.
think I would have to come with you. When wherever you're going now, it seems like to Berez.
Yeah.
Possibly.
The closest one.
Depends on who's asking.
Esmeralda then pipes up and says, I would like to at least stop by Artginvostholt. To at least bury Johan's body. And
I would like
anything
to go
after
there
that,
as well.
I'm with you.
I mean, it's on the way, I suppose.
It would mean a lot to us.
They're like cool stuff inside.
Almost certainly.
It was the place of the Order of the Silver Dragon. They had... I remember... Actually, do I remember? I'm gonna roll a d20.
Do I know anything about Arxes? It's not far from where I grew
Right.
up.
You know what?
Before I was
Actually, go
trapped
ahead and
in a
do a history
cage.
check.
Thank
Did I
you.
know that Blair was
Dude,
part
but
of
you were
that?
trapped in a cage.
I was only trapped in a cage. I was still. I got to
Right.
explore it until I was 12.
Right.
Did I know that Blair was part of the Silver Dragon, or did
Yes.
that never come up? Okay.
Yeah, that
And I
came
would-
up for sure.
Okay, then I would say, like, I had a companion that was part of that order, and this halberd, and I like knock, and like this came from there.
So Esmeralda got a 13 and Vaughn got a 12. Esmeralda doesn't. Vaughn, you have seen the castle. This like it's considered a mansion, but it really looks like a castle, like a fort almost. It's on that hill that always was hundreds of feet above. You could see it every once in a while when the mist wasn't too thick. You could see that it was a dilapidated fort. Many of the floors were open to the elements and parts of the levels had been fallen. But outside of that, I would say you've heard of the Order of the Silver Dragon, maybe on the like offhand from Babala Saga once, maybe twice. Outside of that, you're not entirely sure. Esmeralda also just says, I know that the Order of the Silver Dragon was there. I don't know if there's anything good.
Creepy old abandoned fort that looks like no one's lived in it for forever.
Which also means that people may have just
Moved
come
in?
in and stolen things or moved in or... I don't know. I don't know what to expect. I haven't been there before because I've never had the reason to. Until today. Then Elvir, so, should I come with you to there, or would you be able to tell me? I can be in my raven form, so nobody really knows that it's me.
The way I'm thinking this might work, and I'm going to do this telepathically, I'm just going to be like, this is going to take a minute to explain, but I don't want this said out
to
loud.
Everybody. Yep.
What I'm essentially tinkering with here, and I take out a couple, like, things to aid, is like, I have a combination of 2 spells. Glyph of Warding and Shatter. Glyph of Warding can allow me to prep a spell on an object that then triggers at when it's triggered however you want. If it's in a book, it could be when the book opens. And I can use this spell to prep a spell like Shatter, so that when the book opens, it casts Shatter on that area.
Oh, so it'd be a book.
It could be quite small. The trick here is that Glyph of Warding automatically dispels if the object is moved more than 10 feet from where it was cast. However, there is a little bit of a cheat code here with an interdimensional space being used. If it's cast on an object within the portable hole, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jonny.
No, you're on the right track. Yeah, 100%.
It doesn't move relative to the space within it. So if I cast it on a book that was left within the portable hole, and Elvia or whoever, I'm not saying it has to be you, flew the portable hole to the location, removed the book, so which has at this point maybe moved 5 feet, and then triggered the Shatter, long-range Shatter spell. This might be my most cockamamie scheme of all time, so please do tell me if I've lost the thread.
Okay, so I put out the hole, I grabbed the book, and then I get the hole again? What?
You would just have to essentially
Have you shown the hole to... That's
I don't
a weird
know.
out of context quote there.
That's
But
I was thinking
have you
that,
shown
yeah.
your portable
Not
hole?
a great sentence.
Beatrice, have you shown your portable hole to the Martikovs before?
Not good.
I don't think I've been secretive about it to that extent.
You made a platform for it on the cart, which was here at the thing. So yeah, you totally did. Never mind. Okay.
I have not been particularly secret.
So then,
yeah.
Okay, so I can grab the hole, have the book, place the book down, but how do I get away?
Fly.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a book. That's an example. It could just be when this object is thrown or gets within proximity of another object. I can choose whatever trigger I would like.
I think you can make a word too, if I remember right.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like he throws it and says kaboom, and it
Kaboom!
goes.
That
It does
is
it,
so
yeah.
fucking good.
Yeah.
Or he jumps off the tower saying Geronimo. as he
Geronimo,
turns
right.
into a-
Yeah, it could literally be like, as this thing leaves 10 feet, it triggers. Like I could do it just like, once it goes outside of 10 feet, it dispels. So that's the biggest limiting factor outside of like the price point. So the price point on this is I need 200 gold pieces worth of powdered diamond and incense. So it's expensive.
But you have a 500 gold piece worth diamond, if I remember correctly.
I do.
So we shave.
So you
200
still have
gold.
200 enough.
We still have
That
enough.
is
For
fucking
Revivify.
incredible.
All right.
Oh my goodness. I
Someone's just
fucking
gonna be
love
shitting.
D&D.
He's like sitting there just shaving that
Yep,
diamond.
pretty much.
Shining it. And then the other thing
Amazing.
with this is, Jonny, I'm sure you've picked up on what I'm talking about, but the heart at the top of the tall tower, that is made of crystal, right? That's like a crystal non-organic thing.
Yeah.
A crystal object, an object made of inorganic material such as stone, crystal, or metal has disadvantage on the saving throw.
Yeah.
It's a constitution save, and it takes, I mean, I would upcast it to like 3rd level, so it would take 4d8 thunder damage. There's also just an explosive runes option.
Right.
Which does 5d8
Is
thunder
both
damage.
an option?
No, you have to choose one. I mean, I could
Okay.
cast more than one glyph of warding if we had the money for it.
Is it worth finding the money?
Well, if also you could live without your thing that lets you cast spells 1.5 million times a day. The Shatter is, I believe, a spell that would fit in there.
It has to be
Oh.
second level, I think, though.
Yeah, the Shatter's a second level spell.
But Glyph of Warding isn't.
No.
Yeah, but you could load it up with 12 shatters.
He could literally fly there with 12 shatters and cast shatter a bunch.
Now we're talking.
Now we're really cooking
Now
with
we're
fire.
cooking.
Artificers are fucking broken.
That's
You
so
want your
good.
little Raven spy to
That's
have a really bad, dangerous
Okay.
spell?
It would take him, a lot of time to
But-
do
Take
all
him,
of 12.
Yeah.
But
He could cast it as many times as possible and then get out.
And then
He is
bounce.
also putting himself in danger when he
It's
gets
a
to
lot
that
of
point. Because that,
Yeah.
like, if
Yeah.
if somebody appears there, he's fucked.
Yeah, he can't get out.
So it's just something to think about. But that is a fucking great. Oh my god, that is so fucking good.
That's cool.
Love it.
I like it.
we're just
I like
spitballing
it.
ideas. We're not going to
just-
kill
we're just-
Elvir.
We're just spitballing here.
We're
Yeah,
just
listen.
spitballing, destroying. I mean, I think that would be a really good way to be like, you're not going to come. What's more important?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it doesn't have to be Elvir.
It could be any little Raven boy.
It could be any
That's
of the
true.
Martikovs, the ones we care less about.
Who's the most confident?
Adrian's been there before.
I would say that Adrian would probably be the one to do it. I don't know the castle very much. So that's what was at top of Adrian was talking about a heart, and all of us thought that he was just talking about the center of the tower, but there's a literal heart there.
I don't know if literal's correct. Metaphorical might be more accurate.
I see.
What's
Okay.
it do?
That's a great question.
Is it just like a bad piece of art that he likes?
No, it is.
I think
Is it a good
we
piece of art that he
did a
likes?
check for this already, and I think you just knew that it
I
was
know.
connected to him. Oh, you do
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's what I know. I know it's connected to him, and I
Right,
know that
okay.
it's like for him to die, that also has to be destroyed.
Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I know that. I
It's
don't know
connected
exactly,
to him. Yes, 100%.
but I don't know exactly like what it does. But I know it's like weirdly not that obviously. It's not that obviously protected. Like there might be protections on it, but like as far as I know, it's like we were right next to it when we escaped the palace.
Oh,
Like
shit. You were the trap maker. You would know that there are traps there.
right.
There are like halberds on the walls to attack anybody that comes near it.
Right. How near it?
outside of
60 feet?
that-
That's the range on Shatter.
Well,
Are there
Jesus.
anti-airs?
So-
Crap.
When they're
Do we?
Can they talk while they're were-ravens? Because then if you had the stone, you just would need to be able to speak to use it. So they could
They
still
could
be
mimic.
in bird. They could still be in bird form to cast Shatter theoretically if it using your spell storing
Let me look at something.
broken bullshit.
It's not even. I didn't even make that up, guys. I didn't even lie.
right?
That's-
Like it's just a
that-
10th
that's
level
just-
thing that you can do for any
10th level.
artificer. God damn,
They're just
dude.
giving them out.
They're just giving those out. Well, it's just funny because I think it's something where it's like, well, it's only like a second level spell. I'm like, do you know how broken it is to cast this spell 10 times?
and vortex warp 10 times. Like
Yeah.
that alone was enough to make me be like, okay, listen.
It's
Okay.
pretty good. Pretty good though.
I don't know if they
I'll
can
have to
talk,
look.
but they can definitely mimic. I remember ravens have that specific thing where they can do mimic. Yeah.
But then that brings us to a whole like metaphysical level of like
I think that counts.
does mimicking someone cast
Count as casting.
Oh, absolutely. If they're
Okay, then great.
saying, yeah, I mean, like that's
They're doing it with intention.
yeah.
They're not just
100%.
like
Otherwise-
brainlessly saying a word. They're saying the word for the purpose of casting it.
right.
So all it says in terms of
Not
while
that ravens are
hold-
brainless. I would never
Yeah, don't
disrespect birds like that.
especially ravens. They're
Especially
Yeah,
ravens.
ravens are
I
super
love
fucking
ravens.
smart.
They're very smart. I'm not calling them brainless.
It says, while holding the object, a creature can take an action to produce the spell's effect from it. Doesn't have to be a humanoid, just a creature.
A
And
creature.
it doesn't seem like you
Um,
have to do anything, too.
Using if the spell requires concentration, the creature must concentrate.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's
why
the only spell casting
I-
thing. Holy shit.
I couldn't cast it while raging, is what we had decided
right,
before.
because you had to concentrate. Yeah.
So I had to- yeah.
Yeah.
Because concentration implies that I have to think about it at least a little bit,
Right, yeah.
so I can vortex warp while raging.
Right, and you can't cast while raging, too, right? Like, you can't do
Correct.
an actual...
Yeah.
I think that was, that definitely part of it.
The keyword of cast a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like theoretically, we could give this fucking thing to also Bocephalus and he could cast from it.
A creature, yeah. No, you're
A
100%
creature.
right.
He
That
can
is-
fly.
That is fucking nuts. Which, I
They have
mean,
to
I
be-
guess makes sense because you can cast through Bocephalus just using a command. So you just command Bocephalus, hey, cast Shatter on this fucking crystal heart. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is fucking crazy.
Johnny's so upset by this.
This rules. This is so good.
Like, what are we gonna do this session? How about, great
Break the
math
game.
Yeah.
That's all the best sessions.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if it just has to be a creature and Bocephalus counts as a creature,
I mean, I can't control Bocephalus if he's that far away from me. That's the issue. I would need to be close.
Could we write out a detailed list of instructions to give him?
Probably. He can read.
or could there be something else that could do it? I just don't think we can trust, like, if we use one of Sorsha's creatures that she can summon, I don't think they'd be, like, capable of getting up there.
It needs to also be a creature that would be fitting of being around Castle Ravenloft.
Right.
They only stick around till the dawn.
Yeah.
And it's a long way away from here unless we deployed it significantly closer. If we were at the bone grinder, let's say.
But if I could, I'd give you one of my fuzzy balls.
Thank you.
Where's the bone grinder?
Bone Grinder is far east. It's like southeast of Valakai.
This pile of garbage.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
I feel-
That's the one.
This wreck? Great.
Yeah.
I feel like the Martikov is the best option because we know they can get
Yeah.
in and out of the palace unseen.
Yeah. If they've done it before, they can do it again.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I would just be cautious of is if we don't destroy it and we have to continue casting, I just don't want somebody to
Die.
put themselves in a bad position to where they might, even worse than dying,
Right.
be captured.
Right. I don't think it's about destroying it so much as distracting Strahd so he
I see.
doesn't come after us. So, like, I guess it depends, but I think it would be a thing of, like, we go destroy one, dropping accent for the sake of clarity, we go destroy or, like, fix one of the shrines, and if it seems like he's about to come get us, throw a shatter or two at it and then get out of there just so that he's like, well, I can't leave because the heart's been damaged.
Because he'll think his life's in danger because it's linked to him.
Yeah. So it's not so much about like destroying the heart in that moment as like,
I don't want to be, pop the metaphorical balloon, but Strahd isn't the only one at the castle.
They have balloons in Barovia.
They do. They do
they do
indeed.
birthday parties.
Mm.
There is more people at the castle than Strahd. So if Strahd isn't the one that shows up, it could be that elf that was here, Rahadin. It could be a number of people that I don't even know.
I wish I had some way to calculate how many hit points that thing has.
Yeah, I would say we made a check on this already, so yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 100. That's not a scale of 1 to 100.
On 1 to 145. Is it how many Katyas is it worth?
Oh yeah, so listen everybody. Level 12 Katya has 145 fucking health.
I'm gonna need every single one of them.
And what, the next highest is me at 100?
I have 91.
Why are you
You're
guys so
catching
low?
up to me quick.
Why are you guys so low?
I can't hear you, Sorsha. Whatever you just said.
I said I have 75.
You only have 75? How did that happen?
How does this happen?
I roll really bad.
I'm only solo because I'm multi-class so many stupid times.
And you're
Worth it.
only high because you have 5 in Barbarian.
It's 6 in Barbarian,
Oh,
thank you.
oh, that's right, 6 in Barbarian.
Get it right.
Mobby.
Yeah, how dare you? I mean,
I do think if this is as important to Strahd as you say it is, he would probably make it as priority, right?
But isn't the shrines important to him too? I mean, I still
a
don't
fair
understand.
point. No,
I
that's a
still
fair
don't
point.
understand why these shrines are even important to him.
Something he's become the Fane of Barovia, and if we restore the shrine stuff to the actual Fanes, then they have power that he then loses, and then he's not, the god of Barovia or whatever. Does that sound right, Sorsha?
That's essentially that. The way that he rose into power was by gaining control over the Fanes.
So then, does that mean that the sky comes out?
Yes. He's the reason for all of the fog. And
I've never seen the sky.
I saw it once. It was very beautiful.
I do miss it.
I know it's not useful, but I've always been partial to overcast days, so.
So then you found the perfect spot.
I really feel at home here.
You mean that there's supposed to be stuff up there that's not just what it looks like?
Yeah,
What do you mean?
there were clouds, there was a sun. The sky is actually blue.
What?
It's
No.
true.
Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah.
It's true.
The blue.
Look out the window at the gray sky.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not just gray? And then
Why would
maybe
it be
a
blue?
lighter color of gray?
Water is blue sometimes, or green,
Well, it's
or
like
brown.
it's like this whole thing of like the sun reflecting out the water, which reflects up to the atmosphere.
So
have no idea
does
what
that
I'm talking
mean
about.
the sky turns
She's right.
brown if it reflects off of like the swampy waters of Perez?
I think
Well,
that
no,
is
because
what it
there's-
means.
No, because
I
there's
think that
so
makes
much
perfect
more
sense.
I think it makes
blue
perfect
water
sense.
in the world than there is. Perez is very. I know it seems very big, but it's actually very small compared to the rest of. You know what? Listen. It's blue, okay? And there's no little brown patch. There's no little green patch. It's all a big, blue, wide expanse.
Why?
You'll love it. Why?
Starts with the Y's. But why?
We simply cannot.
I just look at Beatrice.
I never really gave into these sort of studies.
I would like to
Alright.
see the sky.
I would like you to see the sky. I would like all of you to see the sky. And Beatrice,
Maybe not so
before you
much
complain,
Beatrice.
Before you complain, there will still be overcast days even when the sky is there. Do not worry.
I'll take what I can get. All right. So,
Bomb?
What?
Bomb? We're doing a bomb?
Oh,
We're
bomb.
doing
Bomb.
a bomb.
I will talk to Adrian about the bomb and whether or not he's seen this crystal heart.
All right. I can instill it on any simple, object. So maybe a walnut, something that a raven would carry. In an object, whether you can simple or it has to be a simple or martial weapon. So can you carry a dagger? It's a raven.
Could we make
I could carry a dagger.
Could we make it a wooden stake?
That's a simple weapon.
I mean, if it's like a
For dramatic
throwing
effect.
a throwing knife is typically smaller.
Yeah.
Do you have some of those?
Isn't it? I have like a
There's-
dagger.
I'm gonna go find just like a piece of wood this size and start sharpening it.
Sure. Yeah.
Just to a
Make it a
stake?
steak. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Amazing.
We have a bunch of random shit.
Isn't there a meme of a raven with like a knife in its beak?
I think so.
Probably.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
yeah,
what
yeah,
we're sending to
yeah.
Castle
100%.
Ravenloft?
Oh my god. I'm gonna write that
You
down
know,
so they can
as we
meme it
should.
later.
What takes him down?
Yeah.
What
That's
takes
good.
him down? A raven with
That's
a
good.
fucking steak.
Yeah, here it is.
Raven with a. You found it?
I found it.
Raven
Coming
with
into
knife.
Discord. Here we go.
Oh, me the
I think it was a crow, but still.
Yeah,
Oh.
regardless, amazing. Just a fucking steak knife and it's amazing. Oh,
That's what we're
so
saying. He just
good.
lands. He's like, what?
Huh?
That's the knife thieving crow. For
We're gonna post
anybody
this in the-
curious.
I'm gonna make this into a meme. I'm gonna post it in the
Oh, yeah.
random chat,
Yeah.
just out of context.
Yeah.
Just post it in the Discord.
If you know,
and
you
then-
know.
Yeah, exactly.
Foreshadowing.
Oh, that's so
Shadow.
good.
Listen to Friday's episode, everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I
The
good.
really do
foolproof
like-
plan.
So good.
Vampire Slayer Raven. Let's see if that gets any image
Oh my God.
results.
Just
I just
So-
want to figure out a
Lot of
theory.
Buffy. I have made a mistake.
did you know?
I've made a mistake. I've stumbled onto Buffy.
I got nothing against Buffy. It's just not what I was looking for.
Okay. So shatter. I can do it. It's up to second level, so give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I can do 30 d8
It's
with 10
stored,
castings.
stored all in
Wild.
this item.
Yeah.
God.
Crazy.
We don't need to use all
Wait,
of
so
the
can you
castings now.
upcast a second level spell and still store it?
No, it has to
Oh,
be
gotcha.
maximum cast second level.
So then you updo the glyph of warding.
yeah,
that
if I
one.
was casting
Gotcha.
as a glyph of warding, it would be upcast to third level.
But she doesn't need the glyph of warding anymore
But you're
because
not.
it's on the
So you're
object.
doing just the. Oh my
Right.
god! Amazing.
We could do both.
Incredible.
But glyph of warding is maximum going to add 5d8 additional. Well, that's not nothing.
Which is
Not
not
nothing.
nothing.
I
Especially.
mean, it depends. Like,
We have the
Yeah.
diamond for it.
if it's like they just have to like chuck the whatever it is at the
But then-
thing, would that be like a bonus action? Then you action cast a spell.
But then you have to open up the portable hole, and I have to take it out, and then I have
Right.
to say something.
is
It would
much
be
harder then.
a lot harder than just having an item to just pew, pew.
A knife in your little
Knife.
beak.
Specifically a knife.
A knife in your beak.
Yes.
Even if this doesn't destroy it, we could just do it again when we go to the castle to finish it off.
It would take a lot of repairs. I'm sure that's not something that heals quickly.
Exactly. So if we do some damage now, we can finish it off later if we need to.
Right.
I mean,
We
it's
just couldn't pull the trick again.
no, most likely not.
He'll set up defenses. Tragically, he's smart.
Well, yes, tragically, but yeah, I mean, on average, if it just rolls average damage for 30d, I mean, he's probably not going to get to cast all 30. That's 120 points of damage.
Incredible.
So,
Okay. So, with a plan hatched, and I imagine more thought will go into it going forward, you finish up the morning of this day. Elvir goes to talk to Adrian. Who would you want to go with? Would you want Elvir or would you want Adrian?
That's a Sorsha question.
Don't necessarily want to put your husband on the line.
Well, I'm actually besides my husband, I probably think Adrian, because Adrian knows it better and Elvir just knows this information by proxy, right?
I was going to say, from my perspective, I feel like Adrian and I have been like pretty tight the whole time, so I would trust him.
Cool.
With
okay. So
anything.
yeah, Elvir goes and talks to Adrian. Adrian basically comes back and says, "Got it. I'll do it.
Nice.
Just let me know when." And,
Hell yeah.
He's packing up. He's packing up and he's going to be coming with you because I imagine that you guys are probably wanting to do this while you're at Berez.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that happens, then he would need to be with you to immediately, or at least you would contact him while you're going on your way to Berez. But was Sorsha there in Berez? No, Sorsha went. That's right. So you would have to actually trek to Berez.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yeah, he would travel with you guys unless you guys wanted to contact him as you're going to Berez.
I mean, it
Which
might
he
be
could just
useful.
stay in Raven form the whole
Yeah.
time. So
If he wants.
Yeah.
We can like feed him crackers or something.
And then while we're heading to Berez, as many
love crackers.
yes,
Fucking love crack.
Oh yes, motherfucking breadcrumbs.
I'm so excited. And I guess while we're heading to Berez, all the like important family members or people protected are heading toward the Amber Temple.
If we can convince them, it sounded like the dad didn't want to leave.
Two things.
Probably not.
Esmeralda would also come forward and say, there is also a thing to remember that there is a giant green flame that keeps you from getting
that is true.
to the Ember Temple. So if we have a way to go around, that's one thing, but I just don't think, they could fly, I guess.
They can fly.
They could fly.
They can fly.
But are we talking about just the
Aurora and
Martikovs, or are
Leyland
we talking
couldn't.
about the, Aurora and Leyland are
And
the last
not
ones out.
Sorsha's mother.
Sorsha.
Actually, I don't know if she has the wild shape ability.
So
We never talked about that.
Is she 8th level and can turn into a flying creature?
You were like, besides your dad, no, your dad didn't even have that ability. You were just
Yeah.
like the one that had that ability in all of your druid tribe. It's
Yeah.
like the druids think of wild shape as a gift from the Fanes. So once they broke off into their sect of Strahd worshippers,
Lovers.
they lost the ability to wild shape. So that's why you saw so many people in Moonshade being able to wild shape, but not very many people from your own village / circle.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think she does.
Maybe
Jonny says no.
at some point.
How many ravens would it take to fly them across the canyon?
Just screw in a light bulb.
So, you all have at least a bit of a plan set up.
I mean, if we figure out if Argenvolt is safe, if we plan on going there, maybe they can. It's a fortress.
All right, yeah.
If we go check it out.
Hello.
Another bonus, we could scout it out at least.
So then,
And
why don't I go with you? I'll go with you, and if it's safe... Ah, shit.
I also have that little raven statue that I can send messages with. Still.
What if both me and Elvir come with? Elvir stays with me. If Arginvostot is safe, then I send them back to the winery, gather my family, they come to the Arginvolstolt, and then I go with you.
Would dear Papa come along if it's safe?
Or do we have to burn down the winery to get him to go?
Well, that
No,
wouldn't be a
no,
good
no.
idea for
How many
any of them.
fireballs? How many fireballs?
I don't care how small the room is.
That was a joke, Adrian. Sorry.
No, I get it. I don't
Mostly.
know.
Hmm.
I don't know if he would go. I would like to say that he would understand that this is not the right call, but I guess we'll see. And that will be up to Elvir to do, because I will be helping you.
Elvir's charismatic.
And then you see
He's very quaint.
Yeah, that's I don't know what that means, but yes, that is what I am. Yes.
Bless your heart.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bless yours as well.
Yeah. Honey, that's an insult. Never mind. It's fine.
Oh,
Just-
okay.
Just let them have this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We will cross that bridge when we get there. For now, Elvir and I will go pack.
Mhm.
Okay. They walk off to now go pack their bags, ready to travel. Outside of that, do you guys want to do anything else before you head out?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Alrighty.
So
I gotta
There's-
go talk to Aurora and
yeah, I'm like, I feel like
I gotta go
somebody's
talk to
got
Aurora
to.
and
Okay.
and
You
Leyland again.
you walk to the room that they were staying in, and you hear silence on the other side of a closed door. That's about it. What would you like to do?
Knock, knock, knock.
You knock on the door, and at first you don't hear anything until you hear a stirring
I
in a
think my
bed.
roommate heard that.
Nice. You hear stirring in a bed and a few footsteps approaching. The door finally opens, just a crack, and you see on the other side of it, Leyland with just bags under her eyes. You can see that her eyes are a little red, a little pink from crying, and as she opens it up completely and then just gives you a hug.
I'd fully return, just like bring her in, tight hug, hold it for as long as she needs, really. I'll wait for her to let go.
I know I always acted like I hated him, but I just can't believe he's gone.
Me either.
Just fucking sucks.
It's horrible. And I don't want to pretend like I know what you're going through exactly, but we've lost a lot of friends.
Wait,
And
no, you
I
lost
lost my
your
father too. Yes. And it never gets easier. it hurts just as much every time. We're going to continue. We're going to head out soon, and we're going to make him pay for this.
I'm gonna stay with my mom.
I think that's a good idea.
She was talking about maybe going back with our other family.
We were talking about that. We were trying to find somewhere that you and the Martikovs could be safe while we take care of the rest of this. But
I mean, my mom and I would go alone.
I understand.
Okay.
We're trying to find somewhere safe for the Martikovs. If you wanted to go with them,
Oh, I see.
you could. If you think you're safer with your family, then that's a good option too. But what's important is that you two stay together. You protect her. You're strong. You'll be all right.
Can you
You
tell
can
me
protect her.
when you go to fight him? I want to be there.
I was hoping you'd say that. I won't do it without you. For him, we'll bring you. And we'll take him out together.
I'm gonna fucking kill him. Thank you, Katya.
Of course.
I really appreciate it.
I need you to know that he will pay for everything he's done. Death alone is not enough to make up for his crimes, but it's all we can give him. It's all we can do to make this right and to save anyone else from future harm.
Yeah.
And I need you to know that he loved you very much. And he was doing this for you.
I know. That's why I'm gonna do this for him.
Me too.
And Johan's.
And Ismark. And everyone else. For my father.
She comes in for another hug.
Give her a big hug. Tell her to take care and send her off to bed.
Yep. As she leaves, going into the room again, you just see Aurora is facing the other side of the bed. She is just disconnected, completely out of it. But she closes the door behind her as she walks in. Is there anything else the Misfits would like to do before leaving? Okay. You all gather yourselves and your equipment, and Sorsha, you find the same oak tree that you were able to bring your mother through, or no, she went through. That's right, she went through. Anyways, you open up a portal to the closest tree that you had found near Arginvosthot. Fantastic. All the while, of course, Esmeralda gathers Johan's body since she can't bring her fucking cart through that portal.
Mm-hmm.
And you all walk through. That's where we'll end tonight. A bit of a short episode because we started a little late, but nevertheless, next week? Not next week, no. We are we're heading into the holidays again, and so I think next week we won't have a session because we have some travels. Next week we won't have a session. The next week we won't have a session. Christmas and New Year's both are on Mondays, so that's cool.
Oh.
Bad luck.
And then I believe we're going to be trying to do recording. We're going to see if we can do the same thing as this so that if, you know, it so happens that we all have the same one-off day, we'll try and record another episode and then release it on Friday, similar to what we're doing. But we'll see what happens. If you don't hear from us, it's because holidays. That's pretty much it. So, outside of that, thank you all for joining us. And
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And make sure to level up, and we will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.